Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. My name is Mike Rosado. I'm with the Kings Park Community Association. The Community Association was established in 2019 to protect and improve the quality of life of Kings Park's residents. The 4 topics on the agenda this evening, they all have the potential to be transformative for the Kings Park community, and that's why we're addressing them here tonight. Kings Park is a great community, as we all know. That's why we're here. We care about our community. For the most part, we like it the way it is. We don't want to see it change. Certainly, our downtown needs a little bit of help, but we have safe neighborhoods, we have great schools, and we have an abundance of parkland, which makes Kings Park a great place to live. Now, before I get started, I just want to ask everybody to be polite and respectful to all the presenters. The Nisqually River State Park Foundation was established back in 2008, and that was to encourage the state of New York to come up with some sort of a master plan that would be the blueprint for the transformation of the former Kings Park State Hospital into a state park, and to take down the dilapidated buildings. We had a lot of success initially. Buildings started coming down in 2013, and that persisted until 2017. 35 structures actually came down in that time period. Over 40 still remain, but unfortunately the money dried up after our state Senate delegation lost power up in Albany. But through the efforts of the Nisqually River State Park Foundation and its president, John McQuaid, who's here with us tonight, the state did finish the master plan last year, in November of 2023, excuse me. So I invited John McQuaid here tonight to just give us a little bit of a progress report on the status of the park. John.
Thank you, Mike. Can you hear me back there? Yeah. So Mike said it all. The foundation's mission is basically to get New York State to clean it up. It's been 100 plus years that some of these buildings have been sitting here, and now that we've got them to commit to a master plan for the park, the next step is to get them to clean it up. So we work hard towards that end. It is a great milestone that we have that master plan done. To support what we're doing, we have 4 events this year, very quickly. One is the Sunset Run. It's going to be up by the new picnic pavilion, up by the bluff inside the park. It's on June 2nd, I believe. We encourage everybody to come down. There'll be free beer and lots of fun. The second event is a concert that we're going to have, which the details will be coming out shortly. We're very excited about it. It's going to be on July 3rd, Thursday night before the July 4th weekend. You'll be hearing about that more in the next few weeks. My favorite event is the Regatta on the River. We have a 5 and 10 mile canoe and kayak event that starts and ends in the park. It's a lot of fun. A lot of kids participate, a lot of families. It's on September 6th, Saturday. Again, we encourage you to come down. And our most popular event annually is the Turkey Trot. We have almost, some years, 2,000 people come down to the Turkey Trot on Thanksgiving morning right here to Nisqually Park. And it's a great way for families to start the holiday. We really encourage you to come down. It's a great family event. We'll have a lot of stuff for the kids. It's like I said, very popular. So we strongly encourage you to join us at any and all of these. If you want to learn more, we have a website, ourstatepark.org. Visit there anytime. Anybody have any questions or anything about what's going on there?
What's the name of your organization again?
It's called the Nisqually River State Park Foundation. And our website is statepark.org. Anything else? Anybody? Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Okay, the first topic on the agenda is Beechwood Organization's proposal for Country Point Estates at Kings Park. The area outlined in yellow is the site where the proposal will take, where the proposed project will be built if it gets approved. It's 71 acres. It's comprised of about 17 acres of the Raleigh farm property owned by the Raleigh and Boylan family, excuse me. That's on the northwest corner of the site. On the northeast corner of the site, there's 22 acres owned by Jamie Correa. He was a long-time builder in the area from Fort Salonga. He now lives down in Florida. He also owns a 5-acre lot right over here, and then the southern portion of the property down to this corner on Lawrence and Old Northport Road belongs to the Beechwood organization. They bought it from a guy named George Heinlein, KPE2. He got site plan approval for 37 units of housing on this area right over here, and then he flipped the site to Beechwood. Beechwood is currently in contract with Korea and Raleigh to buy their property, but it's dependent on whether or not the town approves their plan. And their plan is the location east of Old Indian Road, Indian Head Road. It's north of Lawrence Road and west of Lawrence Road and north of Old Northport Road. It's 71 acres. I went through who owns it. The proposal is for 288 unit condominium complex with 700 parking spaces. The definition for condominium is building units containing a number of individually owned dwellings with shared amenities, like a rec center, a pool, and so forth. So the people that live in that community, they're responsible for paying the upkeep of the roads and all the amenities that are associated with the facility. The housing types of structures that are being proposed for the site are 53 single-family detached homes on about 1/3 of an acre, 82 flats or apartments, 153 units in 29 buildings of townhouses, a community rec center, and a sewage treatment facility on the southeast portion of the site. This is a letter from the Beechwood organization's attorney asking for a change of zoning. So when Beechwood first came to town, they wanted to build almost 400 units of townhouses. There was an uproar, they backed down. It's common for developers, they go for pie in the sky, and then they back off. Their second proposal was for R6, which is 6 units per acre, townhouses, and single-family dwellings on 1/3 of an acre. They since backed off that, and now they're here at what they call a PRD zoning, which is something that the town just decided to permit within their new master plan. PRD zoning is a mix of housing types, like single-family homes, townhouses, and apartments, and it allows for 6 units per acre. Right now, the property is zoned half-acre residential. That's 2 units per acre. So they're asking for 6 units per acre. This is Beechwood's site plan. So as you can see on the northeast corner of the site, that's where the 153 units of townhouses are proposed. In the northwest corner of the site, up on the top of the site, that's where the 82 apartments will be. And on the southern portion of the site, that's where the 53 units of single-family homes are proposed to be located. At the very southern end of the property, that's where the community center will be, and on the southeast portion of the site, that's where the sewage treatment plant is proposed. Our concerns: 288 units of housing on 71 acres is 2 times what is allowed under current zoning. The change of zoning from half-acre residential to 2 units per acre to planned residential development, or 6 units per acre, would set a precedent that would lead to a similar request on the adjacent 40-acre site, potentially adding a staggering total of 500 new housing units to the area. And I'll go back to the map and I'll show you what I'm referring to. The sheer number of housing units would adversely affect the area's environment, driving, drinking water, traffic, schools, and quality of life. The dramatic size of the proposed development would change the character of the surrounding neighborhoods, consisting of single-family homes, a poultry farm, and an 85-acre nature preserve. Granting a change of zoning from half-acre residential to R6 or planned residential development, PRD, only benefits the landowners who are on contract to sell to the Beechwood organization, since it would double the value of their property. This is a letter that the Kings Park Community Association sent to David Barnes, Smithtown's environmental director, in response to the draft environmental impact statement. And I just want to read a portion of it. It says, any zone change for the Beechwood project must take this adjacent site into consideration. That's the 40 acres to the east of this site. Ensuring that both are developed in a manner consistent with the surrounding area and in the taxpayers' best interest. Clustering the development on the already disturbed areas of these sites should also be explored in order to save as much as the woodlands adjacent to the existing nature preserve. What's also troubling is the town's new master plan is directly contributing to the request from Beechwood for a higher housing density. The master plan would allow for a change in zoning from R21, half-acre residential, to R6, or planned residential development, 6 units per acre. On the west side of the paper street known as Kings Park Road, which encompasses most of the area for this proposed project. Due to the potentially significant adverse impacts to the area's environment, tax base, schools, traffic, and quality of life, plus the harmful precedent that would be set by supporting this application, the change in zoning request from R21 to planned residential development of Beechwood Smithtown LLC should be denied. That was our position. So again, this is the map. To the north of the site, there are 85 acres of nature preserve. 16 acres is owned by Suffolk County, another 69 is owned by the state of New York, and is managed by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Down here, this site right here is currently being cleaned up, and it's being managed again by the Department of Environmental Conservation. For decades, this property was sand mine, and then it was illegally filled in. So the owner, the same owner who used to own this property, took the money he got from selling the property to Beechwood and purchased this property right here. He's cleaning it up with a partner of his, and he will be proposing housing on this site as well. So if the town gives the zoning, if they change the zoning, and they upzone it and allow increased density on this site, there is no doubt that the developer of this property is going to ask for the same upzoning. And on top of that, Frank Menino, Menino's Pizza, Menino's Restaurant, he owns 5 acres right here in the corner. He's proposing 90 apartments on his 5 acres. So if you take that all into consideration, what's being proposed here by Beechwood, what will be proposed here on this former Judge Wiley site, now owned by George Heinlein and his partner, and what's owned by Frank Menino, you could have over 500 units of housing if the town decides to change the zoning on the site. So until these property owners are willing to come together and speak to the town as a group, because not only that, they're also proposing separate sewage treatment plants, which is ridiculous. There should be one for all 3 projects. So unless they're willing to come together and cluster their development to try to protect as much of these woodlands as possible, the community association feels that the change of zoning application should be done. Any questions?
It may sound naive, I'm not familiar with the community association. Is there a board, or is there elected positions?
John McQueen is our vice president, and I'm the president, John McQueen is the vice president, and we have about 200 paid members.
Okay, is there a website or somewhere?
Yeah.
I can sign up.
Yeah, kingsparkcommunity.org.
Goes on in our town.
This meeting is posted on the website.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Sure. Any other questions?
Yes, the access out of the Raleigh farm area where the that pit is down on Lawrence, where do they expect all those cars to go every day? Where are they exiting? Is there just one way out and one way in?
Two ways out. So there'll be an exit here onto Old Indian Head Road, out to Indian Head Road.
It's hard to
Can I just interject, because I live in Country Point, right across from where this is proposed.
Right.
So one thing that I know I've been very involved with, we have the new Starbucks going in, we have the learning experience going in, we have Destination KP now has been approved.
Right.
The last traffic study was done, I haven't, because we retained our lawyer to look into Destination KP, was 2014, before any of this was ever proposed.
Right.
So I think this, in conjunction with all that new construction, and the quote-unquote rail yard that Toby is proposing, with heavy commercial traffic that they're proposing come up and down Indian Head Road, will be horrendous. So I don't really know, and I go to every single one of these meetings in Smithtown Center, everything. I just feel that they're just cramping it down our throats.
Yes, well, we feel the same way. It's an over-intensification.
Yeah.
Rob, are you for the rail yard, or are you against the railroad? And is Mr. Trotter for the rail yard or against the rail yard?
We'll get to that.
Right, it's a yes or no. Are you guys for it or against
One
it?
disruptive voice.
Well, he's never gonna pick on
What
me.
can we do about this, is my question. What can we do about this, if anything?
Well, over on this table over here, there's the names and email addresses for every one of our town board members. If you have a problem with this development based on what we just discussed, please email them and let them know. Okay?
The impact that's going to be on the school system. Now, if you put in over 500 units and say average out 2 kids per unit, that's over 1,000 kids going to go into our schools now. First of all, A, the budget on them. B, the amount of space that the schools have. Have we looked into, will the school system be able to handle it?
Well, I think Dr. Egan and the member of the school board has had a discussion with members of the town board about this project. They're concerned as well.
We are on the school board.
Oh, you're on the school board. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. Okay.
We are concerned.
There you go.
Yeah.
Our property taxes, 66% of our property taxes are our school taxes. And the association, I was with the Civic Association, we did a study in conjunction with the planning department. And it showed that for every single family home that goes up in Kings Park, it puts the school district in the red about $7,000. Next. Donnie.
Okay, are you guys for you and Rob?
We're going to get to that. That's the last part. That's the
No,
last
but this
part.
is, it's all relative, because we're talking, you're bringing in traffic and congestion and all this stuff. Are you two for Toby's project, or are you against Toby's project?
When we get to Toby's project,
But it all has to do with traffic.
we're going to discuss that.
All right, because I just wanted to know, because you were once partners with Toby, correct?
Donnie, if we keep changing subjects,
But we have to keep it, because you're bringing up
Hang in
traffic.
there a half hour and get it.
I'll wait.
I just, there's that unique park area that's
Yes.
not going to be touched at all?
No.
Okay, and I think that if we do bring more, if, let's just say this thing goes through. Right
Right.
now, enrollment in school is down,
Lowest it's ever
right?
been.
Lowest it's ever been.
Yes.
So but we have these schools that there's less people in there, less kids in there. More people come in, and then they will pay taxes,
Right.
correct?
Correct. Yes.
So they will pay for their children.
Correct.
That's what most people don't understand. And, most of us have been snowed by developers for decades. They think that, they tell you that if they build their housing development, it's going to increase the tax base and it's going to help the school district. It's the exact opposite. Development is expensive. Development, the cost of maintaining development, of educating our children, of providing emergencies, it's expensive.
I understand that. I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to look at the whole picture. That's all. I'm just putting something on the table.
Right.
It's not,
Right.
pro
That-
con
that's-
or whatever.
that's
I'm
why-
not the devil.
Oh, I understand.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yes.
just trying to understand this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's dividing my community that I've been living here for 63 years,
Right.
okay?
Right.
So, just trying to suck it all in,
Good.
period.
Everybody should. Yes.
Hi, my name's Cameron, Winnie Cameron. I also live in Country Point, Kings Park, and I've been in Kings Park now for 21 years.
Right.
So full transparency, we all have 3 bedrooms. Each unit in our development has 3 bedrooms. My understanding from the town of Smithtown, the website, is that there are going to be 2 bedrooms in the proposed site plan, which includes the single-family homes are supposed to have 2 bedrooms also.
Oh, I think they're going to be bigger than that.
No, I'm referring to the town of Smithtown, the website,
Oh, okay.
where it
Well,
says the Beechwood.
well, they're going to, again, it's going to be a mix of housing types.
Right, and
That's
it's
what's being
like
proposed.
each unit, it says there, each unit is 2 bedrooms.
Well, I think some of the units will be 2 bedrooms. I think some of the single-family homes will be possibly 3 bedrooms. Yeah, and then you have townhouses. Townhouses are usually multiple floors.
What's that got to do with the bedrooms?
Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting to see exactly what's going to be proposed. Right now, they're proposing a number of different
I think we should include that
units.
information also. I don't have any children, and I get it.
Yeah.
I love where I live. I love my neighbors. I
Right.
love this town.
Right.
And I'm just referring to like the school system and everything else and having X amount of children. If each unit only has 2 bedrooms, then doesn't that limit the type of, or the number of children that would possibly come in? I'm talking about school.
You know,
A little bit of language, but,
Yes,
and
it
again,
does.
I'm just putting it out there because I want full
Well,
transparency also.
you're still talking about 288 units of housing.
I know
And
it's
whether
not
they're
it.
2 or 3 bedrooms, they're gonna be for families, and that's fine. We're not against the development of this area per se. We just think that the way that the town is going about it
Right.
is not in the best interest of taxpayers. That it should be scaled down, that the other landowners should be brought in, so everything is negotiated together. So there's one proposal for the entire area, one sewage treatment plant for the entire area, and that we try to preserve as much of the wooded area as possible. That can only be done if they don't change the zoning, because if they change the zoning, the others are going to ask for the same thing. So if they don't change the zoning, that's going to force all the landowners to come in and negotiate together as one. At least we hope. That's
I was
what,
going to say, is that what they told you, or that's what you're hoping?
that's what we're hoping for. That's the only way it's going to happen.
Take up this time, but I'm not an expert. You talk about the sewage treatment plant. Is something like that expandable?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so it's not that there would definitely be, say, 3 sewage treatment plants unless those owners came together and expanded the one that was already there?
Correct.
Is that how that, I'm not in the line of work, so I don't know. I'm just asking, do you have that information also?
No, because none of that has been, the details of that have not been released yet. Right now, they're just going through the DIS, the draft
Okay,
environmental
so
impact statement.
I just want to make it clear, and you're not trying to put the fear of 3 sewage treatment plants into us.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah,
Frank Menino, who owns 5 acres down in the southeast corner of the property,
yeah.
he's proposing his own sewage treatment plant for the 90 apartments that he wants to build on his 5 acres. Beechwood is proposing their own sewage treatment plant for
Right, I
their
heard that. You did say
Yes.
that, respectfully, yeah.
Yes.
You did mention that, and I
Yes.
understand what you're saying.
Right.
But I'm asking if anybody in here is in that line of work, is that one sewage treatment plant expandable where?
Every sewage treatment plant is expanded.
Okay. so
Toby,
okay.
I'll answer this because I have experience in it, and Toby can verify this.
Okay, I appreciate
They can build one sewage treatment plant, the first property that gets their permit, and any other properties that get built around it for their zoning, when they get all the zoning right, they can build one oversized for that first Beechwood, and then the other ones, the other people with their properties would have to buy into that sewage treatment plant. And because no property owner is, it's a fantasy that you think that 3 property owners are going to come together. It's never going to happen. But you can do it with one sewage treatment plant. And sewage treatment plants work fantastic. Toby, you could verify that, correct?
100%.
Question about.
And we could also do, I'm sorry, one more thing. We could also ask for another parkway entrance and exit off of Old Northport Road.
All right,
by
next question.
Ray Schneider's old property to minimize some of the traffic. Excuse me, this is part of the concern. Yeah, right, Indian Head Road. So what we could do is we could also say as a group of people, we would like for us to put to the state that we want another parkway entrance at Kings Park Road So the people from Country Point don't have to come down Indian Head. And the people who live back there can now get in and on to the parkway from that area, which is over by Toby's
Can you
property.
explain that this isn't
We
really
had
an issue?
10,000 employees in the site center when it was open.
When the site
The
was
roads were a lot smaller. We didn't have problems.
Two lanes, two lanes.
And we had 2 lanes.
I lived there
Indian Head
from
Road was 2
50.
lanes.
So
I know what
is
the
it
traffic
something
is here.
that,
Look, I've been here just as long as you, bud.
Okay,
so
but
my
I'm just
question
saying,
is.
Okay.
when the hospital people worked here, they lived here.
Not all of them.
Hold on. Let's just move, we gotta move.
Far from it.
Please, just don't hold conversation, just get up and speak.
Guys,
Hearing two conflicting things, and I would just like to have it sorted out. So I heard your point of view. You are telling them not to speak, but I would like to hear their point of view because I'm not sure what the story is as far as the traffic. And I would like to know if back in the day, and everybody seems to agree with them, that back in the day the town was able to absorb the traffic, which was initially my concern. But now that I'm listening to these gentlemen speak, I would like to hear more. So if I stand corrected, if the town is able to withstand the traffic because we had done so at some point years back, is this something that this is not actually an issue? So I would like to just hear a little bit more.
they're not even,
That's
Meadow. Because to me, I think it's legitimate that traffic can be pretty rotten at times. As someone here said, a lot of families now don't have 1 or 2 cars. I see driveways 4 or 5 cars because they have adult children of age driving. So if it's feasible, that to me would be very important to maybe allow such a development.
the town is looking into possibly getting another parkway exit put on, because on Bread and Cheese Road, when the VA hospital lets out, everybody in Fort Salonga gets all backed up. So what they want to do is, because everyone has to make a left down Pulaski to the Parkway entrance, instead of having to make a left, waiting for all those cars, they can go straight and get on the Parkway right where Schleider's old property used to be.
Well, I think an exit would maybe help that people feel a little better about what the housing. And I've been in the town 45 years, so I do remember when there were more elementary schools. So.
Okay, so listen, it's good to know, obviously, a lot of people came out, we held an open meeting, so we could get points of view from everybody. We're not saying that our point of view is gospel, we're telling you what we believe to be fact and what's important, and we think, we're just trying to protect the community's quality of life. Other people feel differently, and that's fine. This is, when you hold an open meeting, and it's not just for members, things like this are going to happen. You're going to have people come and express their point of view, and that's perfectly fine.
Has there been any economic study by the chamber or any other organization how this will impact current businesses and bring business to town? Has there been any discussion about that at all?
Well, I think obviously a lot of people here today, including Donnie and others, own businesses in town. And what they're worried about is the lack of business. And that by this development and others that are being proposed, there'll be more people into town, which will in turn help their businesses. So that's what they're concerned about. Other people are concerned about, traffic and overcrowded schools and increases in expenses to help maintain this type of a development. So everybody has their own point of view, depending on where they're coming from.
Yeah, so my question is actual fact-based or estimates of, is there an economic study that shows how this would impact business and increase, the town in revenue?
Won't be thorough enough.
Well, the town just completed their master plan for Smithtown. So some of the answers to your questions may be in their master plan. If you go to the town's website, you may be able to find those. Any other questions on this?
Town of Smithtown was very specific in the message that they sent back to the developer, that they wanted this site cluster zone. because it's a dirty site and it's gonna cost millions to clean it up.
That's not this site.
Not this.
No, no,
We're talking
no,
about the Judge Wallace.
the Jezawali site, these sites, what they want is cluster zoning on these sites because they know there has to be a residual return on the investment for these developers to actually put it in. I'm not saying 288 units is right, I have no idea what's right. My question would be, who determined that the Kings Park Community Association was against it?
We didn't say, he didn't say we're against it.
He just said, okay, then who determined that it needs to
As it
be,
stands.
who determined that it needs to be built on 1 acre zoning?
That's the zone.
Whatever it is, who determined that in the community association that that's what it should be?
No, the town zoning, whatever.
That's what it's zoned.
I understand you're saying that, but they've applied for a zone change, correct?
Yes.
But who,
Mike, why don't we request some 55 and older in there? Mike, request some 55 and older maybe, that'll bring down some of the school.
Next topic.
This is the problem. You're not allowed to finish a topic when you're making points. Pay attention to what's going on.
We have the room until 9:30, we gotta move on.
I'm sure they'll let us stay later. We know people. Listen, pay attention. What if we make it more 55 and older community? It won't gain more taxes for the school. And no kids. And no kids. Why don't we recommend that before we start making it smaller? You can't move anywhere around here. Once you sell your house, we have old women living in $900,000 homes that can't move because there's no place close.
Tony's gonna let us.
Number two, I just want transparency on the filming of this. I just want to know where the filming will end up. So I think we should all know about that.
Where will the filming end up?
Kings Park Online, it's a YouTube channel, so you go to YouTube and just type in Kings Park Online, and that's where it will be in about a week.
Should be a fun watch. Okay, so next, this is Tony's project. This is where the apartment building is being proposed. So it's a 3-story apartment building with 50 apartment units, ranging in different sizes, and we'll go over that in a second. So this lot right here is a ½ acre. So the proposed building will take up about 3/4 of the lot, and there'll be about 10 parking spaces in the back for this project. That's why he's also proposing an underground parking garage to accommodate the people that will be living in this building.
Sounds smart.
Thank you, Tony.
I figured you would say. Okay, so this is the way that the building will look from Meadow Road.
Beautiful.
And down below is the way the building will look from the Tanzi shopping plaza. This is the site plan. So as you can see, the building is going to take up about 3/4 of the lot. There's about 10 parking spaces in back. The rest of the parking will be down below. Concerns: 50 units of housing on a ½ acre equals 100 units per acre, which far exceeds town's maximum capacity guidelines set for garden apartments, which is 17 units per acre, and even Governor Hochul's original housing plan surrounding railroad stations, which allowed for 15 units per acre. It sets a precedent, setting variances for density, reduced setbacks, an underground parking garage, and ground level apartments. If allowed to proceed, it would set the stage for other similar projects in the future that would alter the character of the Kings Park community, overwhelm local infrastructure, and negatively impact the residents' quality of life. Town should impose a cap on the number of residential units permitted per acre, as it does in every other zoning district. And building height should be limited to 2.5 stories to preserve the historical and suburban character of the community. Now, this is the downtown Kings Park framework plan. What the association is concerned about is that Tony's project is right here, just to the west of his Rite Aid and his shopping center. The town is also proposing that this area be used for housing as well. There's about 3 acres there. So if Tony is getting 100 units per acre, and there's another 3 acres to the west, that's another 300 apartments in that area alone. The town is also proposing apartments in the Key Food Shopping Center.
They said they wouldn't do that at the last meeting I was there. No apartments on top of Key Food.
Okay, we're also proposing apartments in the Key Food Shopping Center or townhouses on the southern end of the shopping center, according to this plan.
Good, no one goes to the shopping center anymore.
And so there are deep concerns regarding certain elements of the proposed Kings Park Downtown Revitalization Master Plan. Although the pursuit of improving Kings Park's downtown business district is noble, he intends, as it does in every other zoning district, the building height should be limited to no more than 2.5 stories to preserve the historical and suburban character of the community. Any questions?
Many of you were involved back, is it okay? I'll use the mic.
Yeah.
Many of you were involved back in 2016, came to Kings Park. We had several meetings. It was 300, 400, 500, 600 people all got involved. This room, the high school, William T. Rogers. We all met and we went through what was wrong with downtown Kings Park. And we came up with what we thought as Kings Park, as everybody. There was no two people are going to decide what Kings Park was. This was everybody. So they came up with a plan. I had nothing to do with it other than being a facilitator. I was involved because we wanted to find out what Kings Park wanted. The town determined that TOD, transit-oriented development, is good for this site. You know why? Because there's no houses around it, because it doesn't bother anybody. So if we could come up with some modest housing that goes there that could feed our downtown, maybe that would be a good thing. What did I do? Like an idiot, sacrifice my reputation to do something that may be good for the town. I'm not going to paint myself a martyr. Of course I'll make money at it, but I've scaled it back. It's not 50 units anymore, it's 46 units, because that's what the town told me they wanted. It's not 4 stories, it's 3 stories, because that's what the town wanted. It has underground parking because we need the parking. Somebody said this will be the first underground parking in Long Island. Lie.
Lie.
Riverhead has it in their ordinance, Islip has it in their ordinance, and Huntington has it in their ordinance.
Stop,
So anyway.
stop. How many have underground parking out of those 3 towns?
How many have it in their ordinance?
No underground parking anywhere, especially in Smithtown.
You don't see the cars. Some of them have cars all over the street. All over the street, there's going to be cars then. They're under the ground, you don't see them. Jesus Christ.
One person, please, one person at a time.
Tell Rob that.
So anyway.
One person at a time.
So anyway, when we get to the concept of we need to have a cap per acre, the town of Smithtown did that. They proposed 359 units total across all of downtown. It's in the comp plan. If you bother reading it, you know that. They've since eliminated the TJ Maxx shopping center as even a possibility. They said they will not entertain it. They have also eliminated the parking lot across from the firehouse. Said they're going to turn that into a park for Kings Park. Those housing units are eliminated. So at the end of the day, we're talking about 215 units, 216 units in downtown Kings Park. I think it helps, but you guys know better.
Yeah, buddy.
This is a letter from 2020, 25 years ago, when Mr. Tanzi, when Tony asked for a variance for this shopping center to reduce it from 214 spots down to 134 spots. So reduced by 80 spots. So now, when you put this building here, and if you put 40 parking spots underneath it, and if you were to lift it off the earth, and it floated, and every parking spot was here, where are the 50 or 46 people and 60 cars going to park?
How many cars are in that picture?
Okay, whatever. It's not all the time. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. The bottom line is, listen. So they got a variance to reduce the parking. Now, we're not against him building something, but I want you to think about this. When Governor Hochul came down here and produced 15, she wanted to propose 15 units per acre. Everyone went berserk. This is 50, 10 times what she was asking for.
On the railroad track.
So what I'm saying is, it sets a precedent for here. And the fact that, in the master plan says it's 350 units, well, the master plan also says you can build on top of TJ Maxx. But that's okay, we're looking the other way for that way. When they go to 350, they're not doing it, but guess what? They could do it, just like they could increase the 350 to 550. So that it sets a precedent. Look, I do this for a living. I can tell you about an apartment building in Selden that went up. And they said 20 kids are going to go to the school. 56 kids went to the school. Listen.
One second, I have a study for every single apartment project on Long Island that has been done.
Okay.
Do you want it? I'll give it to you.
I can give you Selden.
No, hold on. Selden, very good comparison.
Great comparison. Well, it's a little bit different. It's more units. I'm not arguing that.
Rob's a legislator, so why is he saying he does this for a living?
But
read it when you get home.
Listen to me. Tony, you know what this is? This is BS. Because I live it every day. Because I go to the IDA when they're asking for tax breaks and screw every one of you out of the tax break. You don't think the developers get tax breaks? You're living in a fantasy world.
Good, they should.
Fantasy.
They should.
They're taking the risk.
They should, Rob.
Okay, let me get this straight. You know something? I want you to understand something. Listen to me. No, I can show you a building in Selden. They pay $100,000 a year to the school district. 56 kid goes there. 56. So what the IDA does is, they come in, the builders come in, the unions come in, they flood the room, and they intimidate the people on the IDA, and then they bribe the politicians, and guess what?
You're a politician!
Anybody ever come to fundraise this thing? I don't have them. I haven't had one in 6 years. I don't take money from anybody where I got a vote on their contract. I don't take money from any builder or any developer.
It's going to be great.
Guys, please. I'm sorry I interrupted you. No disrespect. Here is a study that shows almost every single multifamily project
Who did the
is
study?
tax
The
positive.
developer.
The Long Island Housing Partnership.
There you go.
Every single, you can have it.
Let me tell you
Good.
about, give me the thing for the Long Island House, give me that mic.
Ready for the Long Island? I'm so glad he brought up the Long Island Housing Partnership. You ready for this? They built 3 houses with $20 million budget. The CEO makes $500,000 a year, and the second number guy makes $300,000 a year. And you know what they do? Nothing. They try to screw you, and they're owned by the developers. Look, if you want it straight, you come to me. I'm not I get it to you straight.
Rob, how many laws did you
I
write?
am very sorry. I'm sorry. I misrepresented. It was prepared by the Long Island Regional Planning Council, commissioned by the county. By you, the county.
And what did I just say? There's 18 legislators in the Suffolk County Legislature. Is that 18? 2 of us don't take money from unions and developers. 2 of us.
They won't give it to you.
You know what? We don't want it. It's called integrity.
You won't take it to the police. They won't give it to you.
I don't want it.
Okay,
Yeah, well, they want to get your own cop. That's all I know.
okay, next.
When can Tanzi bring back
Okay, the Kings Park industrial area. Okay, this is.
We'll all agree on this.
This has been an issue when I was president of the Kings Park Civic Association over 15 years ago. And it's still a big problem for this community. Most people have no idea what's going on there. But the Kings Park industrial area stretches from Townline Road on the west. This is the incinerator over here. This is Toby's property right here. It takes Northport Road, Old Northport Road east, all the way to Indian Head Road over to the east of the map. 90% of the business owners, of the property owners down in the industrial area are out of compliance with town and don't pay their fair share of taxes. Now, it's not entirely their fault, because the town has known about this for decades and has chosen to do nothing about it. When I confronted Supervisor Vecchio about it many years ago, he told me, Mike, every town needs an area for obnoxious uses. And he's right. But I said to him, but why don't we control it? Because the nickname for this area is the Wild Wild West. Nobody's in compliance. People aren't paying their fair share of taxes.
Never heard that.
Never heard the Wild Wild West?
No, I never heard it being called that, Rob.
Excuse me?
We got handed more money than God, Vecchio.
200 people.
Yeah.
So anyway, so nothing has been addressed. Now, he was afraid if he granted the zone change or allowed these people to continue to operate by filing for a site plan and approving a site plan, he would lose votes, and he would upset the people there for legitimizing those businesses. Now, Supervisor Warhan was aware of what was going on down there. He told me, even before he got elected, that once he did get elected, that he would bring the area into compliance, one property at a time, and that when a property changed hands, that he would address it. Well, that never happened. Several properties have changed hands, and he hasn't addressed it. So, just to do a recap here.
Which properties, by the way?
I'm gonna go over those. So the Kings Park industrial area is approximately 300 acres. The zoning is light industry on 190 acres, heavy industry 65 acres, and there's 45 acres of residential located in the industrial area because the town has never changed the zoning. That property is never going to be used for residential. But the town refused to change the zoning because they didn't want to upset the voters. So those people, the people that are operating on that, are using it for industrial uses. They have no approved site plan, and we're not paying their fair share of taxes. So the purpose of the industrial area was created to serve the economic needs of the local community and to be a major tax contributor to the Kings Park School District. That's come up short on all accounts. So our concerns, the town of Smithtown has neglected its responsibilities to uniformly and fairly enforce pertinent town code provisions in the Kings Park industrial area. Less than a handful of properties out of approximately 4 dozen, approximately 10%, are in full compliance with town codes, and many operate without any town oversight whatsoever. The town's reluctance to enforce its own land use regulations has led to the misuse of many of the sites in this area, harming the area's environment and contributing to the contamination of our drinking water. The failure by the town to enforce town code encourages other surrounding landowners to disregard an array of building, engineering, zoning, safety, and environmental regulations without fear of consequences and to the detriment of public health and safety. Current conditions in the area present a clear and present danger to the health, safety, and welfare.
Why are we worried about this right now? Why don't we start at the root cause of everybody, all the politicians getting paid, right? Everybody's getting money, they're getting bribed. Why don't we start with that? Why don't we start there first, then worry about this?
Well,
because they're robbing all of us blind. If anything, we should all get a tax rebate.
Well, that could be a whole different story, but it could be part of this story as well.
It's not, though.
Why?
It's not, though. I feel like we're talking about nonsense here.
The question has to be, why has this been allowed to happen for so many years?
All right, 1 second. By the way, I'm a friend of Toby's. Toby was still friends. I'm all for the rail yard. I hope the rail yard goes through. I sincerely, honestly, hope it goes through. Some people are against it. It is what it is. All right, I get it. You're talking about this. You're very close friends with Toby. You were actually business partners with him at one time.
We never became business partners. We made a proposal to clean up the step landfill.
All right.
That was killed.
Now, I'm not throwing rocks or anything. Unfortunately, Toby's here. But your good friend has had one of the largest rental properties down there all these years. Did you protest against that? I mean, he still has rental properties on his property.
Toby's fully aware of what
But you know, then go after all of them. You know, you can't do some and not the other. But this has never affected anybody. What this has affected is I started working down there when I was 16 years old. Hold on, Mike. You weren't even around here yet. All right, when I was 16 years old, I started working for a mason down in one of those yards. All of these small business guys, they rent these yards for $200, $300. I rented from Colby myself.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how these guys can only stay in business. All right? These guys have to start paying $1,000, $1,500. Where are they going to park their trucks? in their driveways, in your neighborhood? Is that what you're gonna want, a dump truck in your driveway? Because that's what's gonna happen.
Okay, but again, that is not the point. We're not trying to stop them from parking their trucks down there. We're saying that the owners who have no approved site plan and are not in compliance with town code need to come into compliance
Marino
with
got it for his
town
property,
code
Fasto has
to
it
help,
theirs.
first
When they sold theirs?
to help protect their employees, the people that drive through that area, and to pay their fair share of taxes to the people in this community. That's what we're saying. We're not saying that nobody should park their cars down there. We're saying that they should obey the rules like everybody else is
All right,
supposed to.
let me just say this. I'm looking at two different diagrams, right? You cannot assess one against the other, okay? What one person does with his property cannot be compared with the money the other guy makes on the other property, okay? He may have a big piece of property, maybe he's got, maybe you check in his books every year and you pay your taxes based on that, not based on overhead.
This property down here is listed at the town assessor's office as being vacant. Vacant. It's not that he's just fixing his books or his books don't work out some way. It's listed at the town assessor's office as vacant. He's got multiple tenants. He's pulling in tens of thousands of dollars a month, and he's paying $14,000 in taxes.
That's the point I'm trying to make. You can't really just go by, you look at parking, the guy's got nice property, he's taking care of the property, the other guy's not taking care of the property. Okay, he's got the investigation done, go property by property, and where are the inspectors?
Okay,
where are the inspectors out here? Where's my tax money?
Okay. So beginning on September 18th, the Kings Park Community Association started sending letters to the town board. And we identified 5 property owners who own several properties down there who were not in compliance with town code. Okay? So this one was J.S. Townline.
This is one of the few times that I 100% agree with you. You are 100% right. Toby was put down there, and they operated under tacit approval forever, which makes it so that it is almost impossible to do it by force. Toby will be the first one to attest that this town board has gone down there and approached all of these landowners to try and get them to come into compliance legally. No, don't answer me.
Tony, that's only because we threatened to sue them.
I didn't ask for a debate, Mike. I'm making a statement.
Yeah, but that's the reason.
So it's working on it, and you should know better than anyone, you don't tax vacant land. You tax improved land. So they have to build buildings to get the taxes that we need, which everybody is willing to do, and they're working on it. I am 100% in favor with what you're doing. I just don't agree with why you're doing it. Who was the person that you pointed out that one lot?
With the taxes?
Yeah. The one you singled out. What was the name of the owner?
I believe his last name is Farina.
No. The one that you said across from Toby on the corner of Old Northport?
It's Tellerman, J.S. Tellerman.
No, who was the owner of the lot?
Abe Podolak.
No, the owner before.
Oh, the owner before, it was Cox.
And who was the person who beat you out in the bid that you were talking about in the park? That's ethics. That's ethics right there, Rob. Everybody knows. He works for you, Rob.
Tony's right. That's really piggish.
Is it true?
True. No, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Toby, I asked Toby, and I asked Charlie Riker, who is the owner of IGA, if they would help clean up a toxic landfill down in the Kings Park industrial area. We put in a bid, and we won that bid from the Suffolk County Land Bank. Toby was going to do all the land work. Charlie Riker was going to pay for the cap. And we were going to finally clean up 25 acres that hadn't been paying taxes in about
Charlie Riker was going to donate $2 million out of his own money to cap that. The same Charlie Riker that put the roof on that church next door gave him $100,000. The same Charlie Riker that gave $1 million to Nesco River State Park. The same Charlie Riker that gave $2 million to the emergency room. So when we get rushed there, when you look up on the sign, it says the Riker Family Emergency Room. He built a a fireboat in East Hampton. He did all that stuff. And for Tony Tanzi to bring that up, that he was going to do it, disgust me and should disgust everyone in this room. Because Charlie Riker is the greatest person in this family. And for you to bring that up, it says a lot about your character.
We get the money that the chamber used to get for all of those years for money.
Is that what everybody's saying?
You ready? All right. Now, sit down. I'm going to tell you. Listen, before I was a county legislator, the Kings Park Chamber of Commerce got zero money. Not $1.
But why did they lose it? Why did they lose it this
Listen.
year? Why did they lose it this year?
I'll tell you why.
Because somebody spoke
I'll tell you why. Because when I did an audit of it, when they didn't want to bet it,
You want to bet?
I'll show you the receipts. I'll show you.
Don't you dare! Don't
Okay.
you dare!
Look, I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to embarrass anybody. But now Dave Amber will do a story on it. No, by the way, I'm not saying that it was illegal.
It's just getting good.
I wasn't.
They're gonna destroy this tape.
I don't care. Look, I said, okay, I didn't want to embarrass her, and now you just did. To this birthday park, who's doing, ready for this?
The concert,
You ready?
Mondays on Main, you can thank him. He took it and he's giving it elsewhere to
He's giving
family
it back to
members
the
that
state.
need.
I'm giving it to the Nescora State Park that's doing 3 concerts this year. And if you want me to tell you who one of them is, it's the biggest one we've ever had here.
And the towns is ash, the way ash needs to be hauled, long-term, needs to be done by rail, because we don't have the amount of long-term capacity for 30 years to keep dumping ash on Long Island. We don't have it anymore. So it has to go out by rail, and it has to go out in steel-lidded containers. When it gets loaded indoors, in a controlled environment. It should get loaded at the facilities themselves, but they would need facility modifications. That's why we need the county government, the state, and the towns to work together to get some of these nuanced things done. But steel-lidded containers, ratcheted down, nestled in on a flat card, and then go out. And I believe every town that has a waste-to-energy plant should do it the same way. So we have a standardized way. No matter what happens, if one rail line is down, there's redundancy in having all 3 rail lines operating for us at all times. Because, let's face it, rail, like anything else, has its problems. But collectively, trucks have way more problems. They do way more damage, way more environmental harm, and way worse. Except for your point, what about Ohio? But guess what? This isn't going to be Ohio. We don't have industry here. There's no industry to necessitate tank car loads of products that you're thinking about. It doesn't exist. We'd have to build factories to do that stuff. It's not going to happen. So the reality is, no, Toby Carlson will not handle hazmats. It's not part of our business model. In fact, let's talk about hazmats, and then we're going to close the evening, because I'm getting tired, and well, you guys too. Let's talk about hazmats. That's the real issue with hazmats on Long Island. Every house has 30 to 50 pounds of unregulated hazmats that we are pouring down our drains, in our cesspools, lathering our body in it, and breathing it in. And so, at the end of the day, our hazmat issue in 2 towns, between Smithtown and Huntington, we have 117,000 homes, 30 to 50 pounds apiece, is 28 tanker car loads of hazmats. At Carlson Corp, we are forbidden by the law to handle hazmats. So everybody in this room that owns a home, I would bet, has more hazmats on their property than I do on Old Northport Road. So let's not go there, because there are no hazmats going to happen through Carlson Court facility. It's not going to happen. So the next time I hear that Mr. Ambrose in the paper repeating somebody say, Toby Carlson's going to handle hazmats, it's a lie. And I've told you directly to your face. I don't want to hear it.